So, UKIP's collapsing. Who would have thought it? Henry Nobody, who become leader, is getting fired, is getting sacked. Well, basically, I don't actually know what's really gone on. I'm not up to date on it all, but I just understand UKIP's collapsing. I've seen a lot of people saying he's got to leave, he's done this, he's done that. So, yeah, Jack, you're up to date with it. Let's have a look what's happened to UKIP. And remember, Henry Bolton was Nigel Farage's chosen man.
Yeah.
Nigel Farage chose him.
He came in last minute.
He
barely went to any of the hustings and debates throughout the whole campaign. And when it became clear that Anne-Marie was the winner, in fact, I don't really mind saying this now actually, but I remember during the campaign, we got a phone call from head office of UKIP saying Anne-Marie should prepare for leadership. And then Henry Bolton appeared.
And then he's brought him in. So he's been brought in at the end to prevent her getting leadership. Yeah. And now UKIP's collapsing. Yeah. So it's intentional. Yeah. It's intentional.
And I don't believe he actually won by fair sort of
no, neither either. No, and I've also heard people within UKIP saying the same. So Nigel Farage has basically chosen the last 3 or 4 leaders.
Yeah, the last 4, I think.
And can anyone remember their names? Does anyone know who the last 3 leaders of UKIP were? And that's the reason why.
Yeah, he didn't want any of them to overshadow him.
Because if Anne-Marie Waters become leader of UKIP, the whole country would know Anne-Marie Waters.
Who is Nigel Farage at that point?
The whole, because she will be stronger than him on the issues that he needs to be. So
they shoehorned in this Henry Bolton guy, and I think we just start from the beginning. I don't know if you remember.
And Henry Bolton was worked for the European Union.
Yeah, he worked in the European
ex-Liberal Democrat.
Ex-Lib Dem.
Yeah.
I mean, ex-Labour's understandable, ex-Lib Dem. Yeah. But yeah, he said during the campaign, UKIP would become a UK Nazi party if it selected the wrong leader, meaning Anne-Marie. And then shortly after Anne-Marie lost, Nigel Farage did this in the Telegraph. Racists nearly killed UKIP this week, but we live to fight our most important battle. And then I found this the other week. I don't think
I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed. I read that headline. I was so disappointed.
It didn't surprise me though, because Farage is terrified of being labelled as a racist, basically. And there's people who voted in certain ways.
But he must. But the problem is, for me, he knows what it's like to be labelled when you're not a racist.
Yeah,
because he has been.
And then he went and did it to them.
So then he throws everyone else under the bus.
Thousands of people in his own party that supported Anne-Marie, he called racist. But I don't think I've ever shown you this. This was. I remember we were at the hotel after we found out that Anne-Marie lost, and we heard this on the radio.
And what's the future for Anne-Marie Waters in UKIP? She came second, very, very close to winning.
Well, yeah, one of the things I did as UKIP leader was to totally disassociate ourselves with the far-right BNP type tendency. In fact, I even got it to the point where you couldn't even become a member of UKIP if you'd at any point in time been a member of the BNP. I wanted to make sure there was...
What's that got to do with Anne-Marie Waters?
A clear distinction.
She's never been in the BNP.
Sectarian political party.
This is about you.
Things needed change. The point about Anne-Marie Waters is that the guy that was her campaign manager is this Jack Buckby figure who's a former BNP and goodness knows what else he's been. So I know
goodness knows what else he's been.
Would you encourage Henry Bolton to expel her?
Well, it's his job to do that. The UKIP leader has been in the current structure and doesn't have the power to do that. So that's not, in a sense, a relevant question, which shows you why the reforms need to be made so that the leader does have power. But look, as I say...
He says reforms need to be made so UKIP has the power to expel Anne-Marie.
To expel people who talk about Islam.
Yeah.
That's basically it. What has Anne-Marie Waters done? That's what you have to ask her. What's Anne-Marie Waters done or said that's wrong? She talks about Islam.
Exactly. She talked about Islam, that was it. And he ended this by
saying,
I very much hope she leaves the party today.
Of course he does, because she'll be winning the election next time.
Exactly.
That's it. There'd be another election now and Anne-Marie Waters would win it.
Yeah. Well, they'd rig it again, probably.
Who is Henry Bolton?
Who is Henry Bolton?
That's the big question. Who is he?
Lib Dem, born in Kenya.
He's born in Kenya?
Yeah, apparently. He looks like a cartoon character.
He does, doesn't he? He looks like Mr. Burns.
He does.
He looks like Mr. Burns, doesn't he? He looks like Mr. Burns, man.
So he's got this long history. He's got an OBE. He's ex-army, he's ex-police, and he likes to remind everyone of that in the campaign. He's the most boring guy on earth. But anyway, the first time he actually hit the news after becoming leader,
because I've not heard a single thing about Henry Bolton since he became leader.
He's totally uninteresting. He's boring. Doesn't appeal to anyone. UKIP's best shot is with the working class voters, right?
Yep.
What working class bloke is going to ever vote for him?
Who's going to relate with him at all? Well, this little working class girl has.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Is she working class?
I don't know, actually. 25-year-old glamour model. She's a bit skanky.
You see, when you hear glamour model, so because I heard this. You've seen what's happened with UKIP. Well, he's tied up with some 25-year-old bird. He's 56.
54.
54. No, just wrong. No, that's wrong. It's not right.
No, it's weird.
It's not right. Yeah? He's ended up with some 24-year-old bird, and apparently he's known her 2 days. This is, you could correct me if I'm wrong. He's known her 2 days.
Yeah.
And then he sent his missus a text message on Christmas Eve saying our relationship's over. And then he's tweeted a selfie of himself.
With...
Look at him, look! What a lad!
Fantastic Boxing Day drinks with Henry Bolton.
Fantastic. And then so...
December 26th, 2 days after he texted his wife.
2 days after he texted his wife.
His wife is still breastfeeding his kid.
On Christmas Eve.
Little scumbag. So then...
look at him. Just look at that. Leader. Look at him. What is going on? So is he loaded? Is he loaded?
No, he's not, because he was talking about selling his family home to pay for his job at UKIP because it's unpaid. So his family were devastated because this man, he advertised himself as this family man throughout the whole UKIP campaign. He was this family man with a solid pair of hands, you know. He told everyone he'd been married twice. He's been married 3 times. Like, why would you lie about that?
He's been married 3 times and now he's with a 24-year-old.
Well, he was with. So he's with this girl. But
he's a case, isn't he?
But then it came out.
Henry Case Bolton.
This made me laugh.
Married UKIP leader's new self-styled bad girl of Brexit girlfriend, 25, launched foul rant about Grenfell victims labelling the tower a nest of immigrants.
So they've been denying this affair. They said there was no overlap. But...
there was no overlap. He just met her and then dumped his wife the next day.
Exactly. Which I don't
what a
think
weird setup, man.
So then it came out.
Topless glamour model. UKIP leader Henry Bolton's girlfriend branded nurses posh cleaners.
So all these rants came out of this
all the
girl,
things she said.
All these things she said. So she called nurses posh cleaners. What else did she say? In reply to another user, Rosa, she wrote, "As for your crap about nurses, nurses are just posh cleaners. They're not highly skilled consultants or specialist surgeons. We are not short of them."
You're a glamour model.
Yeah, and also she's wrong. We're not short of them because we're importing them from the rest of the world. We've got thousands of people waiting to become nurses. British people waiting to become nurses, and they're not getting trained because it costs too much.
So they get them in for cheap.
Well, she actually says it herself. She says we should just bring more Filipinos.
Look at him, man. He's like a cartoon character, isn't he? Is that his wife?
Yeah, that's his wife.
Oh, God.
She works for the EU as well.
Yeah.
Well, for an EU-funded organisation.
She's better than the glamour model.
Yeah, you'd like. She's a nice.
They look
woman.
normal together.
Yeah,
they look normal
she's
together.
Got his kids.
Doesn't look like you're fiddling a youngster, mate.
So anyway, it got worse.
UKIP chief Henry Bolton is battling to stay leader as party officials launched a probe after he jilted his wife for 25-year-old glamour.
So basically, they started an investigation in the party about what happened, about how he left his wife and who this girl is.
His wife's sitting there for last week, reading all this unveiling.
Yeah. She didn't even know what was going on. He texted her and she had no idea that he was with this new girl or anything. And she spoke to the press and she said that she saw photographs on the Instagram or Twitter of Jo Marnie, the young girl, with her feet on this footstool that she bought him for Christmas. And like she's just basically he's shagging her in his family home while she's away seeing family. He's a proper scumbag.
I had her in his family home.
He took her to his family home because his wife was abroad with family. Properly
Henry
scumbag.
Bolton. Now we know who you are, don't we? No one knew who you was. Now we all know who you are. You're a wrong one, mate.
So then...
Well, actually, most men would be thinking he's done all right.
I don't know, mate. She's a bit skanky. Look at that. Yeah.
But look at him. He looks like Mr. Burns. And he's 54.
I thought I had a big forehead.
He's a fossil.
Look at that.
He's a fossil. He's a fossil with a 24-year-old topless glamour model. So, I don't know which way to go with this. I don't know if to say Henry Bolton. Go on, son. Or say you're an absolute wrong-un. It's just 2 different environments. If I was down the pub with the lads, I'd all be saying, "Oh, what a lad he's done," and everyone would be laughing and bantering about it probably. But it is wrong.
Totally. I mean, then it came out that she'd been talking about Meghan Markle. I'm no fan of Meghan Markle, but she claimed that Meghan would taint the royal family with her seed. And that she's paving the way for a black king, and she said she could never have sex with a Negro because they're ugly. So that's when it started getting messy for...
Oh God, she doesn't look very good there, does she?
No, she's not a good-looking girl.
I don't...
There's something wrong with her.
She wouldn't have sex with a Negro because they're ugly.
Says her.
I was going to say, come round here. Tell me if you have sex with her. It was an off-camera joke. No, go again. Who's it?
That.
Oh.
No, man. She's even dressed like him.
What a weird, it's all just weird, isn't it?
She also
What's she doing? What's he doing?
She also reportedly said female refugees arriving in the UK would fuck a mangy dog for about 10 quid and a Big Mac.
Oh, she's class. She's class.
So yeah, this caused a huge outcry, and basically they started saying to Henry Bolton that you need to choose. Really, what they were saying is you've got to resign. Any politician would resign from this.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He left her. But actually, one thing as well, revealed UKIP chief's glamour model lover, 25, joked with a friend about raping a baby as he devised ditch her or quit calls. So,
she joked, get up that, get that bit
Let me
up.
find that.
God, so Joe Marnie, you've just been ripped.
The Mail chosen not to print the distressing exchange, so they wouldn't...
She's joking about raping a kid?
Yeah. So she joked about raping babies.
So I don't see the Negro because they're ugly, but she'll rape a baby.
Yeah, but the newspapers won't even report on it because it says it's too bad. So they won't even report exactly what it is that she said.
And then she said about Miss Merkel. Miss Merkel. See, I don't... She's stunning, by the way, isn't she? Like Prince Harry's missus. I think she's gorgeous, man. I think she's gorgeous. Ginger boy's punching. And, what's this?
So then... Right, so the call started for him to resign then.
Yeah, because I retweeted a tweet from Bill Etheridge. Is it Bill Etheridge?
Bill Etheridge is a knob. He was totally anti-Anne-Marie in the campaign. He was calling her a fascist and extremist and all that in the hustings and everything. He's a dick.
And this is quite funny, yeah? Like, so Bill Etheridge said he needs to resign. No, that he needs to go, and he hasn't gone. So Bill Etheridge resigned.
Bill Etheridge resigned.
And what did Henry Bolton do? This is great.
Right, so let me find it. Oh, I've not got the exact one here. Basically, what happened is Bill Etheridge posted on Facebook that he had resigned as an MEP for UKIP. He's still an MEP, but not a UKIP MEP anymore. And he put it on his Facebook. And then Henry Bolton, like the 15-year-old girl that he is, publicly argued with him on his Facebook wall, saying, actually, we sent you a message at 5:19 a.m. firing you from your position. So he's got in all these Facebook arguments, right? The guy's clearly losing it because he knows he's messed up.
Meet Jo Marnie, the glamour model dating UKIP.
Yeah, that's
she looks better there, doesn't she?
Well, that's a bit zoomed out.
Yeah.
She looks
you
like
can't
she's
see her
got like
face.
An 80-year-old's arse. But anyway, so what's worse is Henry Bolton then started threatening the ex-boyfriend of Jo Marnie.
Who's going to be a kid?
He's going to be about my age, like 24, 25, right? So
you'd never thought he was 24, 25. No one's gonna, the biggest shock in this story is going to be that you're 24. Grandad Jack.
I've had a rough life, mate. So he sent messages to this guy called Patrick, who's the ex, and these are his Facebook
You are
messages.
far out of your depth here, Patrick. You're playing with fire. Do that immediately and then really pack it.
And so Patrick replied, yeah, I completely understand, but if Ben did not tell you, how on earth I'm confused. I'm telling him no, but how can you possibly know the full details of a private conversation without violating his Twitter account to view them? So basically, it's Henry Bolton's trying to scare this guy, and it seems like he might have even hacked someone's Twitter. So then Henry Bolton said, I said, Patrick, you are way out of your depth. There is so much more to this than you will ever know.
Yeah, I'm starting
I'm starting to get the impression there is a lot to this. I'm better off knowing. So he said, because I don't feel it necessary to take you to court, if we can agree that there will be no more problems caused by you, i.e. releasing more screenshots of her texts, are you going to contact the person and instruct them to delete the screenshot now, yes or no? And then he says, I would if there was anyone else I'd showed it to. He says, it's a shame you let Ben talk you into this and into releasing other messages you received from Joe. Why did you do that? And he said, if I tell you why, will you promise not to basically make my life agony? Not going to lie, you scare me if you pulled that off. And he says, if you tell me yes, but more so if you promise not to do this again, then I will leave you alone. I have no wish to do any harm to you. You have just been exploited. So this is the leader of a national political party threatening a 20-something-year-old bloke on Facebook.
And the bloke's obviously a complete melt if he's scared of him.
Well, yeah, I know. Who'd be scared of that?
Let's see him again go down. Look at him, man. Look at him. He's great. I love him. He's just standing there like an old man, just walking over his little bird.
But it's all this boils down to is this was Nigel Farage's best bet. This was Nigel Farage's choice.
Yep.
Farage isn't on our side.
This was purposely done to destroy UKIP.
Yeah, it was.
Because UKIP would have been electrified and reignited
If Anne-Marie
under
had won.
Anne-Marie's leadership.
If Anne-Marie had won. So now...
It would have been a political option for everybody against Islam.
Not anymore. So Henry Bolton now has, basically to sum it up, Henry Bolton has now decided that he's going to end the romantic side of his relationship. I think that's what he said. Let's find this.
Way that certain people have, I'm personally extremely unhappy with the way that certain people have used her and indeed dug deeply into this
Pause it for a
this
second.
lady's background.
He's unhappy that she said she don't want to have sex with Negroes because they're ugly. He's unhappy that she joked about raping a baby.
No.
But he's unhappy that people, not that she said it, he's not unhappy that she's turned out to be a bit of a
That it
lunatic.
got out.
He's unhappy that people have dug in and found them.
And what was he expecting, by the way, when he was posting selfies of him with this young girl on his Twitter, like he's a 16-year-old in a new relationship.
On Boxing Day.
On Boxing Day.
Did it say on his Facebook, in a relationship?
Probably. Joe Marley.
And in order to attack me, if people want to attack me politically or my leadership, then let's have that out. But to do this to somebody is unacceptable in my view. But nonetheless, the comments made and the language used is indefensible, as Ms. Varney has already said. We both need to start putting our lives back together after all of this.
So he left her.
So he's left her.
He's left her, and that's that. But here's
Well,
the
what's
thing.
the point in leaving her? Because you're going to lose your job now anyway.
Well, on Sunday.
You might as well have carried on banging the 25-year-old.
On Sunday, the NEC.
What are you doing?
They're going to meet on Sunday, the National Executive Committee of UKIP, and it looks like they're going to sack him.
They're going to sack him.
Which means another election contest, which will be the fifth
For UKIP.
leader in, I think, 18 months.
Pathetic. Anne-Marie Waters would have been soldiering on.
Yeah.
Do you know what the biggest question of this has got to be? Will he get back to her when he loses his job? That's what I want to know.
We'll make it Facebook official.
Selfies out with Joe Marley. Out with Joe Marley, days. Henry.
So, no, I think that's UKIP done now.
Finished. It was done. It was done the minute that they called people racist and Nazis. It was done the minute they used the same tactics that were used against them.
Yeah.
They used them on the innocent people.
Yeah.
It was done then.
There's reports that UKIP membership has dropped below 7,000 now.
Well, thousands of them have gone to Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
She's got thousands of members.
Yeah, she has.
So-
And, I don't know, For Britain, I think is going to be picking up the slack now.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, it will.
And how anyone can stay in UKIP after all this, and also after what Farage said about them, for holding the beliefs that we do, and Farage calling them racist, calling thousands of his own supporters racist. I don't know how anyone can stay in that party, or how anyone can justify the support for that man.
No, well, yeah, he's been treading on it. It's so disappointing because he's been even the second referendum comment, whether that's taken and blown out of context and.
It's stupid because now, I don't know if you saw, Nick Clegg tweeted, "I agree with Nigel," which is a reference to one of the old debates when everyone kept saying, "I agree with Nick." I don't know if you remember that. But basically now all the left are saying, "We agree with Nigel. Nigel's right. Nigel said we should do this. Let's do it."
But he's dedicated.
He's
Yeah, he's dedicated. He's dedicated his life to getting us Brexit.
Yeah.
He's dedicated his life to getting us.
If he didn't
That's
want
what's
to,
thrown
if he didn't want
me.
to talk about Islam,
Then fine. Then
You
fine.
should just shut his
be
mouth.
quiet. Yeah. If you don't, and I completely understand. Brexit was his thing. Get us to leave the European Union, giving our country our independence, and thank you, Nigel, for it.
yeah.
But the Islam thing is
It's too big.
If he didn't want to talk about it, I see the same happening with the Football Lads Alliance. If you don't want to talk about it because you're cautious and you're worried of the backlash against that, I get it. I mean, but don't throw everyone else under
Don't
the
throw
bus.
everyone under the bus. The people that are willing to talk about it. Anne-Marie's willing to put her life on the line.
And
she deserves respect. And that party would have succeeded. But here's the thing: if that party had gone down Anne-Marie's route of becoming a counter-jihad party, Nigel Farage's
Brexit's history.
well, no, it's not even that. Nigel Farage's reputation as a UKIP or ex-UKIP leader is sort of tainted by Anne-Marie's horrible Nazi beliefs about Islam. That's it. It's all self-serving egotism.
Well,
That's it.
Henry Bolton. Go on, son. You just destroyed UKIP.
Cheers.